Guys, welcome back to my channel, and we are jumping right into the tutorial this time. I will have another video actually of me removing my previous set before this one, but I really wanted to just keep this one the tutorial, and you'll see why. So I took off my tips previously, and we are going to sculpt these in gel, which you guys know is my favorite application. I do not like tips. I keep trying tips, and yeah, no, I like to have them sculpted. I don't know, personal preference. A lot of people like tips, especially acrylic text, but I am a gel girl who likes to sculpt my tips. So you saw me apply the form. I cut the sides, and then I kind of put a blob down here because we're not making them very long. This is not super long, although thinking about the outcome, these would look bomb if they were long coffin shape, but I just wanted some little rounded nails here. So we apply a clear base because, again, I'm building it out. This does not matter for 3 fingers, but you do want to use clear at least on the 2 fingers that we are doing the design on. And I'm pinching here, by the way. So I did a flash cure and then came in and pinched for like 10 seconds and then finished curing. Yeah, filing, but off camera. I come on a little bit. So essentially what I'm doing is making sure these are the same length and as close to the same shape as possible. I tend to do 2 different shapes on my nails. I am guilty for some reason. I just cannot get the shapes the same. This left hand's going to be a little bit more pointy than the right hand, which you guys would have seen the Halloween tutorial by now, which this was the first one to this one, but I really wanted to do the hand painting for the second one, and this is kind of like everything else. So if you did watch that Halloween tutorial, which is this one, which is actually on my hand that I'm painting the clear with, that's already up. So we are taking, again, that one step is what I also built out that extension with, and I did a slip layer, and then I'm coming in with kind of my glob, or what they like to say, the pillow technique. So you do your slip layer and then you kind of bounce this down the nail, and then you come to the end and make sure you go over that tip at the bottom, because otherwise it can create a ledge. And of course I grabbed too much. I always grab too much, but I needed kind of a chunk at the bottom because I did a very thin extension. So if you had seen earlier, you would have seen that when I was trying to compare the two, the edge was so small. But we're going to fast forward because this is movie magic, okay? Movie magic. So we are buffed, filed, all that good stuff. And now we're going to take the black buttercream, and you would think I would know this. I use this all the time. It's the white is perfect white, and this is black. Oh my god, why is this escaping me? I'm gonna have to Google it. Black, not black licorice. Anyway, it's black. It is literally their black buttercream, and they have it in a gel and a buttercream. And I use this all the time. This is probably my most used buttercream. Maybe the white is. But essentially, I'm just painting that super thin layer. And once I do that, I actually go in for a full cure, because you want to do a full cure. Otherwise, you could end up with some uncured gel, and you don't want that, especially with the darker buttercream. So I always find myself doing a thinner layer and then coming in with a little bit thicker, because if you leave it like this, it's like super thin. Black tie. Hallelujah. But again, when I come in with this layer, it's not that thick because I'm actually going to do a second layer. So again, kind of coming in, setting, I guess, my fundamentals down here, if you want to put it that way. I am prepping for that larger layer, even though it's not large, because again, it's just like scraping it on. But this is kind of what I say, like the slip layer as well for buttercreams. But buttercreams are just amazing. It's my favorite finish from Light Elegance. I mean, glitters are obviously my favorite, because if you don't like glitters, then you're in the wrong channel. Even though I don't have any glitter on, it's fine. We'll make it through. But I come in, do that super thin layer, and then I come in and do a little bit of a thicker layer to balance out the color. And there's, don't worry, I get that off. So we're coming in with the second layer. And if you do really well in the first layer, your second layer is just icing on the cake. And thankfully, I take my time with the first layer. I usually leave everything in, but sometimes if I get a little bit on my skin or there's like a hair in it, like when I'm removing the color, that I will fix it, obviously, before I cure. And you can see there's no hair or fuzzy, not hair, it's a fuzz from when I actually removed it. There's nothing on this nail now. So again, take your time. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of focus. And just make sure that these layers are great. Black is like the hardest color to use. I would say black and white are the hardest colors to use. So now we're into the design. And I left this all in real time because I really wanted to leave it in real time. And you can fast forward. I'm not going to talk through the whole thing. Don't you worry. So I'm taking one step here, and I'm not doing a very thick layer because I don't want to change the integrity of the nail here. So keep that in mind when you're doing this technique, which is kind of a pull-through technique, I guess, that you don't want it to be crazy thick because, again, you're going to top coat. And so I actually think I had a little bit of a divot in one of them, and I float the top coat on just a little bit to even it out. So you can do that as well. You don't, if you do have a little bit of a divot because of the way we're doing this technique, it's okay. Just kind of float your top coat a little bit on it, and it worked perfectly. So I am taking black tie, the same buttercream, and I'm overlapping it with the one step, but I'm not overly lapping it. Does that make sense? Like, we are about to overlap it. Wow, I probably sound like an idiot right now. We are going to overlap it here with the stripey brush, but I didn't really want a ton of that clear on my color. I'm in quotes right now if you could see me. My color gel. So don't worry about it. Just get them as close as possible. If you had a normal gel, this would work probably better with a normal gel than a buttercream. But I keep going over and over and over because I'm looking for kind of a translucent spread out look. And then the second one, I keep it a little bit more concentrated. So take your time, enjoy it, and just go back and forth and play with it. So you'll see I flip my hand around eventually, and we pull the clear into the black, and I'm wiping off my brush ever so slightly. And I think that's kind of some good parts about it, is that you can actually sit there and kind of mess with it back and forth, because all you're doing is lines back and forth. You're not doing anything super complicated because you have the gels doing the work for you. And just let it do its work. Don't worry about it. Keep it coming. Let it do its thing. So I'm going to let you watch this, and I do it on both fingers, and I leave it in real time for you guys for both of them. All right, finishing up this one, and I kind of liked that I did this one a little bit sideways, kind of pulling, and of course cleaning up your cuticles before you cure. So now we are taking flat matte top coat. Again, sorry I'm out of focus. This is, I think, the first tutorial back at my old setup, which is my new setup, which is my old setup. It's complicated, it's fine. And I just was completely out of shot here, and same with the filing. But I do come in shot, like, there we go, I realize it. And I loved how this came out. This may be my favorite one of the year so far, and I'm sad that I took it off to do the other tutorial, even though I love that one too, but I think I should have kept it on. But I wanted to film the other one. So I don't know. It's a tough between filming and doing your own nails, because I do my nails to film, but also to do my own nails. Does that make sense? So we did flat matte there. Give it a second. Let it cure, because otherwise it's going to be streaky. You don't want it to be streaky. So again, give it a second before you actually cure it. And I don't know if I show you if I fix a divot. There is a tiny divot in one of my nails. No, I don't, of course. There was a tiny bit, so I kind of floated the top coat on top of that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.